What's up, everybody? I am Destroy R, coach of your Washington Wake. We are getting back into our PDL, Professional Draft League series of mostly post-coms. I had recorded these, but wasn't sure if I was going to publish them, and have since decided to, so you guys can witness some playoff action here. This particular match is part of the cross-divisional playoffs. PDL had two different divisions, and they each had their own tournament for champion. We made it to the championship of our own division, ended up losing that match, unfortunately. And so this is kind of our chance at a redemption run here, doing this cross-divisional playoff. So we won the first round of cross-divisional playoffs. We are back into our semifinals of the cross-divisional playoffs now, and we are actually facing off against Zave, who we faced off against in our Yuva division playoffs as well. So this is a bit of a rematch, and semifinals versus him both times. So here, I know I'm faster because I'm Choice Scarf, and this should do some serious damage. He must have a sash there, obviously. So now I'm kind of wondering, okay, he's got a sash. Is he going to be doing Stealth Rock here? Is he going to explode on us? Honestly, can't remember. What do I do here? I might just use this as an opportunity to bring in Ursaluna. Although, no, I hope I don't bring in Spectre. I recently kind of did this in another match, and the Azelf, or it might have been Mesprit, that used a knockoff on me. And it really kind of screwed me up. So I'm taking the risk here, hoping that that's not what he's doing. Want to get this thing popped. Oh, ho ho ho. What a coincidence. This is the match that I was thinking of where that happened, apparently. So I just made a huge mistake by getting my Ursaluna having its orb knocked off. I could still do some damage with it, and then it explodes as well. So we are essentially playing this match minus an Ursaluna, which is really unfortunate because this was kind of our main win con. And so this is a lesson to be learned, is don't be so reckless with Ursaluna. We've had a few matches this season that we've lost because of being pretty reckless with Ursaluna here too. So sometimes being aggressive works out well, and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, and so here I'm wondering, do I just stay in? He could easily be Battle Bond on this thing. Don't really want his Battle Bond going off just yet. But, okay, he goes for a U-turn, which crits me. And that's kind of fine for me. Especially because I think that crit maybe he wasn't calculating for, because he just inadvertently sets off his Battle Bond here, and that's the best possible thing that we could have happened for that Greninja, because now we don't have to worry about a late game Battle Bond switch. So we lost our Ursaluna early, which sucks, but he kind of made a misplay there as well, or maybe it was the crit that got him in. So we're doing okay. Both down one Mon. I think I bring in Cinderace here. I've been had decent kind of luck with this Choice Scarf set with Will-O-Wisp on it. Usually you don't have a status move on a Choice set like this because you don't want to be stuck in doing a status move, but it's a nice way to make progress versus some teams that you can't do much on. So we're able to burn him. Honestly, I think in the first game I played against him, we had a similar matchup here, and I missed the Will-O-Wisp. This time I don't miss. Thank goodness, because that allows me to survive that. And we don't know what item he is. Kind of suspecting he might be a Choice Scarf. I kind of think a Choice Band might have done a little bit more than that, even with the burn. But since we're kind of expecting Choice, we are going into Slowking here, because Slowking can eat a close combat pretty easily. And main thing we want to watch out for here is the knockoff. So he just goes for a hard withdrawal, another sign that he's likely choice something on that. I'm not running the calcs right now, so I'm not sure if he's choice band or choice scarf, but that's the only reason why he wouldn't maybe do a knockoff there. Okay, he does a U-turn. That's perfect for us because we do our chili. We get to see what he brings in, and then have the position advantage here. So let's see who he brings in. Okay, comes in with Mindfu. Guessing at this point with the burn, he's maybe just hoping to spam knockoff, do a little bit of disruption. Maybe just kind of throwing this thing out here as a sacrifice. Do I go Spectre? Kind of think we go. Okay, so we got Terra. This is our one Terra Captain, Arboliva here, and we're Terra Poison. So we know this thing is not going to be able to do much to us if we Terra. So I think we just Terra, and we're just kind of looking at what is he going to do here. Is he going to just do a U-turn? Is he going to do a knockoff? And it's looking like Alluring Voice goes well into most of his team, other than Fez. We're not super worried about Fez coming in because Fez is going to have a hard time versus Terra Poison. I don't think there's a whole lot Fez can do to really pressure us when we're Terra Poison. Goes for the U-turn. So if he brings in Greninja, it's going to get really hurt. If he brings in Dragonite, it's going to get pretty hurt. Fez, and he's also got his Turtle. Turtle might be a solid option to bring in. Oftentimes has Earthquake. Retro Dude. Who's Retro Dude? Okay, he brings in this thing. We can Earth Power it. He can also use this as an opportunity to just catch the Earth Power and get a free switch in on his Dragonite, his flying. We go for it anyways. There's a Heat Wave, which really does almost nothing to us. So great. We do a decent chunk with Earth Power, not a whole lot. So I've got to expect that this thing is pretty spadef. And we just completely heal off the damage he did to us. So now I'm kind of thinking, does he really want to stay in here versus me? Let's maybe go for an Alluring Voice, I think is what I'd do again in this situation. We go for an Earth Power. Turns out to be the right move. Gotta watch out for Dragonite coming in here. I think it does get Earthquake. Again, we do have the Grassy Terrain helping prevent Earthquake, but it'll still do a pretty solid chunk to us. At some point, I think I gotta go for Alluring Voice here. I've kind of set the pattern that I'm going to be doing Earth Powers here, giving him the opportunity for the free switch into Dragonite. It looks like I decide to keep pressure on Fez with Earth Power instead. Fez hasn't healed yet, which is interesting. I'm not sure this thing could even be like a Assault Vest, potentially. It's pretty specially defensive anyways. Arbo's not special attack invested, but it's got decent special attack. He so far is just going for Heat Waves. So I just keep hammering away. At this point, I'm a little bit confused. Like, why is he bothering to stay in here with me? That question gets answered for me a little bit later here, if my memory is correct. But at this particular moment in time, I'm just kind of confused why he's just letting me kill his Fez here. So I think, yeah, he's definitely going to switch out this time. He doesn't switch out this time. Continues to stay in there. Ooh, a crit, and it still does nothing. So I could have killed it there, but I did not. He went for Toxic, so he's not Assault Vest on it. Again, he's just kind of wasting turns at this point. So we figure, okay, staying in, let's go for the Earth Power. So ultimately, he goes for another Toxic. And I'm just determined not to let him get that free switch in to Dragonite here. But ultimately, I believe what he was doing is he was stalling out my grassy terrain, and now he's just kind of sacrificing his Fez so that he can get a clean switch into Dragonite. With Dragonite coming in without the grassy terrain, he is able to then do a lot more damage with Earthquake. So I believe he brings in Dragonite here. Yes, he does. I think I'm kind of looking at what are my options here. Nothing I have. Unfortunately, now that I've Terra Poisoned, 4 of my 5 Mon I have left are weak to Earthquake, which is really unfortunate. I think maybe I can survive one, and I don't. So this really kind of surprises me. And I'm kind of thinking at this point in time, maybe he's Choice Band? I think I'm kind of looking at some calculations, because that hit harder than I expected it would. Even super effective. It's a non-stab move for Dragonite. And in Arbo, I do have some physical defense invested in it. And I think that's kind of what I'm doing right now, is I'm reeling a little bit from that and looking at the calcs. Only thing that I have that's not going to get just slammed by an Earthquake completely is Spectrier here, is kind of what I'm thinking. We do have our grassy terrain back up, which is good. And yeah, this thing still has its multi-scale intact, so we're kind of deciding, do we just start hammering away? He stays in. He goes for another Earthquake. And it is a lot, even with the grassy terrain there. And this is where we're pretty certain that he is Choice Band on this thing, based on the amount of damage that it did, as well as the fact that he's not picking a different move. Because if he's not Choice, he could go for like a Dragon move. Although a lot of times Dragonite just has Dragon Dance and Roost and maybe 2 attacks, Earthquake and Extreme Speed. Get a nice chunk of healing versus this thing. Don't know, again, we're kind of expecting that this thing is Choice Scarf at this point in time. We don't know. We're trying to kind of decide, do we stay in and take a hit, a knockoff. Should be able to survive a knockoff because this thing has a burn, if it happens to be faster than us. But I think I'm just kind of looking at the damage calc right now to kind of figure out what is the implication of that. I decided to stay in. He definitely is Scarf, because he was able to outspeed us there. Does a good little chunk to us, gets rid of our leftovers. We're luckily able to heal a little bit back there with Draining Kiss. We get a kill, which is wonderful. And Grim Neigh boost is very nice to have. Let's see what he brings in. Dragonite potentially again here. Don't know who this is. Let's see. Oh, this is his Torterra. We had a nice end of match showdown with Spectrier and Torterra in our first semis final matchup in UVA semis. Here we are again. I think I just go into a Shadow Ball here, which should be able to 2KO him. He's Terra. Let's see what he is. I don't think any of his Terras resist Shadow Ball. He's Terra Fairy again. I think his game plan is just to kind of get us weakened. Okay, we're able to do about 60% there, I think. So we're in an easy 2KO spot for him. He does a nice chunk to us as well. And I think he just gives it up here. Okay. So we're at +2. At this point, I would kind of expect him to come in with Greninja. Because I think he's not going to be able to extreme speed us, obviously, with his Dragonite. We're going to be faster than his Dragonite, and we're at +2. His multi-scale's broken, and that's why he's bringing in his Greninja here. We're faster than Greninja. We know it's a Battle Bond Life Orb Greninja, but it does get Water Shuriken. So I think I must be looking at the calcs here to kind of figure out, can he kill me with Water Shuriken at this point in time? And I'm not sure. I can't remember. So let's have a look here. If I don't think he can kill me, I think I just stay in and do a Draining Kiss. Otherwise, I guess I can go into Slowking, kind of expecting that. We do have a Colbur Berry on Slowking. Okay, so I must run the calcs. I want to keep that thing alive as well, because I don't want him to be able to just extreme speed through the rest of my team. So keeping my Ghost alive, make sure that won't happen. Should have stayed in, it looks like. He only got the 2 on the roll there, but you never know what you're going to get, and so we're playing it safe. So I think we had Trick Room here, which doesn't really help us anymore. That was for our Ursaluna, when we thought that was going to be our win con. So it looks like I just opt for the Chili. He opts to U-turn out rather than to stay in and pressure me with Dark Pulse, which is fine. He also knows that I'm Choice Scarf on my Rabbit, my Cinderace. So I imagine he doesn't want me to Chili out and bring in his Cinderace versus Super Greninja. Okay, what do I do here? Dragonite is... Cinderace can't do much to Dragonite. It resists my entire set. He didn't bring Dragonite the first time that we played, and I wasn't really expecting it to come this time either based on that. But now I'm kind of looking at, I don't really have... I'm not really sure what I should do here. I can chip it down a little bit with Spectrier, but I am definitely within Earthquake range here. But kind of what I need to be able to do is get this thing KO'd between Spectrier and between Cinderace. Hindsight, maybe I should have come in here and done like a Will-O-Wisp instead. And because I'm not going to be able to KO this thing with Shadow Ball, but that's what I'm going to try to do here. Thought about healing with Draining Kiss, but his Earthquake did half to me with the terrain up, over half, and so I'm not going to be able to recover enough to survive. This thing almost OHKOs me from full health with Earthquake. So this thing can just pretty much click Earthquake into my squad right now. See if he decides to stay in. He does. Gotta assume... Oh, he goes for an Outrage. Okay, which honestly is a little interesting. It could be that the Outrage is plenty strong enough to take out everything else on my team here. I think, do I bring in Raging Bolt and do a Thunderclap since I know he's locked in now? Looking at it now, I think that's what I would do, is bring in Raging Bolt, get off a Thunderclap to chip him down. Looks like that's what I'm doing there too. And then hopefully that gets him low enough that I can finish him off with Cinderace. Come on, kill him. He barely survives. Okay, and we kind of hope he stays locked into Outrage here. He does not stay locked into Outrage here. Because now kind of what I'm fearing is he can just switch out and potentially E-speed through the rest of my team here. But I come in with Cinderace. I think I just go U-turn here. Because if he stays in, I'm going to outspeed him and kill him. If he switches out, U-turn is going to kill his Greninja. And I think that either way, Slowking can win the 1v1 versus either of the two that he has left, just because his Dragonite is so low. But let's see what we do here. Does he switch out? He does switch out. He goes for the hopeful E-speed. We're just hoping that I misplay, maybe. Okay, so this should kill his Frida. And I don't believe... I think pretty much that seals the deal. His win con there was for me to do something other than U-turn. Maybe to go for a Pyro Ball and miss, or a Pyro Ball and have it eaten by Greninja. And sometimes that's what you got to go for, is just see if the opponent will mess up. So he needs to kill Slowking with E-speed, which I do not believe he can do. Because if he uses anything other than E-speed with what we know is a Choice Band set, he goes for Earthquake, takes Slowking down with him. But that's okay, because we can bring in Cinder, and he is so low that we can easily just do... I think we go for a U-turn here, because all of our other moves are 90% accuracy, and thank goodness we only need 3 HP or whatever that is there. And we hit him, and that seals the deal. That is good game. We get the crit. The unnecessary crit, but we got it. Yeah, so we got him. And really excited now because we have a chance at redemption. After losing the UVA Division Finals, we get an opportunity to win Finals for the Cross Divisional. Interestingly, the person we are matched up with in the Finals is actually another UVA person. UVA Supremacy, I guess, in this next tournament. Nick, not Nicholas. We did not play him at all during the regular season or the playoffs in UVA, so looking forward to seeing what he's got when we battle him later on.